So in this thing for trauma-informed parenting, the characteristics that are highlighted, um, is being trauma. Oh, okay.
Wait.
Being self-aware
Mhm.
and having self-reflection, trustworthiness, being resilient and patient, being able to see and celebrate those small successes. And the parent can help the child grow and heal, and having tolerance for rejection. Again, like we had mentioned that before, it's easier said than done. But again, in regards to that assessment tool, kind of just reflecting back, um, and thinking about how you were rated in those characteristics.
So this podcast, again, it's a Bruce Perry podcast. I'm going to email it to you all because it is 20 minutes long. But it's going to go over some of those main points when we're talking about, he talks about the thinking brain and the 3 R's of how we help a child regulate so that they can remain calm, how we help them relate and being connected with the young person, and again how we help the child reason so that they think about what is happening and how they can learn from it. So those are the 3 R's he talks about at length of, again, regulate, relate, and reason. So I will email that after this because for some reason podcasts give me great difficulty with embedding. So as we go into the safety support and the 3 R's, it's really about that when we're talking about like every child's unique, every parent is unique. Not one magic lesson, no magic wand on how to really work with a young person who has been through trauma and loss in their life, and trying to figure out what are the best tools and how can we manage it when we have that young person in our home. Um, the kids don't all experience the same adversities. They don't have the same supports available to them. And as you become a seasoned foster parent and have different children coming into your home, you'll start to enhance your toolkit as well on like, hey, maybe when I worked with this young person, this is what helped them. Maybe this will work for them too. It's a lot of that trial and error, as well as working with your clinician to see what's going to work best for this young person. Okay. So 2 key concepts are safety and support. For safety, children need a space where they feel safe, they are safe, and that schedules, rituals, and routines can help. We all know this with kids, even with pets, structure and consistency always helps so that people know it's predictable and they know what to expect, and it makes them feel comforted, especially if a young person came from a home that had no structure and routine. They didn't know there was always chaos, there was always a crisis happening. So when you start to have these schedules and rituals in place, it'll definitely help them feel a lot safer and more connected. For support, it's really providing that support to the young person so that they can handle adversity and helping children like know that they have a supporting relationship with an adult, because that is, we know, is a very positive factor for their life and their livelihood, knowing that there's an adult that they can turn to. And that's the importance with fostering, especially because these young people really need to increase their supports and know that there's someone in their corner in case they haven't felt that at home. Michelle, you want to do this one?
When a traumatic response is triggered, the child may become overwhelmed and not able to think clearly. For children who have experienced trauma, separation, or loss, punishment will likely escalate a situation and not solve it. A threat to safety, in situations where we say not punishment, but when we look at the situation and we look at the behavior, if there's an immediate threat, this is where if it's immediate a threat to the child or to a household member, we may want to address the situation and intervene. Because again, if his safety is a concern, we can't ignore that piece. If it's something outside of that, it may be beneficial to just kind of step back, calm yourself and, so that way you could address the situation in a calm manner. Because if you, again, if you go into that situation and address the behavior, you know, if you're escalated, the child is gonna further escalate and it could cause a child to just kind of shut down, not respond, or escalate to the point where they may, um, what, you know, they may choose to get away from the situation, whether it go to their room to be alone or be outside. Just to be, you know, just to be able to calm them. They're just looking to protect themselves in that moment. So just being mindful of that. Um, for this, I'm just gonna move.
I'll read this one, Michelle, because I know sometimes it comes out tiny on your side. So, for example, let's assume a parent who is fostering or adopting gets up in the middle of a winter night and checks on a sleeping child who has kicked off their covers. As the parent is pulling the covers back up, the child wakes up. This child, who has a history of being sexually abused at night, now screams and hits the parent. The parent who has done nothing wrong should not let the child continue to hit. But yelling at this child or punishing this child will not calm the child down, nor will it help the child get back to sleep. So in like this kind of situation, what are some other ways we can address this? What are some other things we could do to help the child co-regulate?
I feel like you should forewarn them before you come and pull the sheets off for their head. Maybe alert them with a call
Mhm.
or an alarm clock. Just something, just not go over their head and pull over the sheets.
Mhm.
Like a forewarn. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel also in that situation, if it's already done and the child's escalated or heightened, I think you
Mhm.
try to reassure them that they're safe and apologize, saying that, I didn't mean to scare you. That was not my intention. I apologize for what I've done. And just reassure them in the future what corrective measures you will take.
Mhm. And maybe that's something you can have that conversation with the young person, like, hey, if I come in another time and the cover's off, you want me to just leave them off? Or is there a way that, do you want them pulled up? Do I wake you a little bit just to let you know I'm pulling up the covers? And you could talk to them about that to see what's going to work for them too. Mhm. So the three R's, they go through it more in on page 100 in the resource manual that was emailed to you as well. And again, it's what we were talking about: regulate, helping the child to regulate and calm their fight, flight, freeze responses. Relate, being able to relate and connect with the child. And that's where we really take that step back so that you are one-on-one engaging with them, having that direct contact and being like, You're important to me right now. How do we make this connection so that they can hear it a little more? And then you can go into the reasoning. How do you support the child to reflect, learn, remember, articulate, and become self-assured? So in the first step, we're always looking at how do we help soothe them and calm them in that first moment, right? How do we keep things safe? How do we bring down all the emotions and the temperature? And then in the second step, it's letting them know, like, hey, I'm here for you. Like, this is I'm not trying to do anything right now. Like, I'm trying to meet you where you're at and work on those relationship skills and that connection with the young person so they can hear you a little more. And then when that's happened, then you can move on to reason and be able to talk about what could we have done differently next time, or what was going on when this happened? Because when you're in that heightened state, there's no reasoning. There's no talking with a young person when they're heightened, right? Sometimes adults want to go right into like, I know what all the problems are and what the solution is. Let's start talking about it. And the young person is like at 100 and they're like, I don't care what you know. You know nothing right now, right? Everyone knows a teenager who has said like to the adults, you know nothing, go away.
Yeah,
And
they be
so
like, you have
when they're
no
heightened,
clue.
yeah, you have to make sure you're having that connection so that they're calmer and they can hear you, where they're in a good space and can listen and be able to have those conversations. Okay. So enhancing your toolbox. Michelle?
Oh, it's case study. Imagine you are parenting a 7-year-old child who comes in after playing outside with some neighborhood friends, slams the door shut and yells at the parent saying, "I hate this place and I hate you." The child was crying as they came in. Thinking back to the 3 R's, referring regulate, how can we regulate and how can we relate with the child?
So how do we use the first 2 steps of the 3 R's? Regulate and relate to this kind of situation.
Right.
Well, I would talk to the child and see if I could help him to calm down. You keep, like you said before, when you tell some people to calm down, it makes it worse. You know, I'm not sure how I would get this child to calm down, if I would have to hold them in my arms, you know, or just have him have a seat, sit down for a minute, and then maybe do some deep breathing, things like those. And once the child is calm enough to talk, they can tell me what's going on. You know, ask them what's going on. Why are they so sad? That's the best I can do for that.
Yeah. For me, I think because just to think about the whole scenario, they're just coming in. I'm like, they're probably thirsty and probably want a snack. So I would bring like a bottle of water or juice and a snack, and kind of, if they slam the door, they're in their room, ask them if I can come in, and just say, you know, I have a snack for you, I have a drink for you. I know you've been outside and playing with your friends, and it seems like you're having a hard time. I completely understand. Would you like to talk about it and let me know what's going on? Maybe we can come up with some solution of whatever the issue is. But if you're not ready to talk about it now, I'm always going to be here for you, and maybe we can talk about it when you're ready.
Yeah, and I love that, like, trying to check in to see, are their needs met, right? Are they thirsty? Are they hungry? And remember, this is also a 7-year-old child. So maybe it's just starting the conversation like, hey, what happened, bud? What's going on? So we can get a little more information about what's going on. Because sometimes for our young people, just that check-in and letting them know, like, hey, what's happening? It's telling them, like, I care about you. I care what's happening. And I can see that you're upset. Let's try to talk through this and see what's happening and what's going on so we can figure it out, right? So you help them say, like, you can talk to them. You can ask them, like, maybe they need to take a walk. Maybe they need something to drink. Hey, do you need to wet your face? You know, because sometimes that even helps. Good. So on this one, remember we talked about we're going to watch some more videos. So we're going to go through video 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll have some discussions about what we were watching and what was taking place in each video.
Hey, what's wrong?
I have no idea. I just woke up this morning and damn it.
Oh, you know what? I think I can help. I have this really great detangler. You want me to?
Sure,
Yeah?
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Okay. Here. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, how'd this happen?
I don't know.
Yeah. Just let me know if it pulls, okay? Okay. That's good. Better, yeah?
Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you.
Let me just smooth that out for you.
Thank you.
No problem. It's all gone.
So that was video 1. And so we saw some things going on, right? What were some of the things you guys observed of what might have been happening during that scene?
She looked up. The girl looked like she was upset about something. She was sad. I think it was more than just the hair. What's going on with her hair?
Mhm.
That she was up. You know, she woke up with sad about something.
You hear what I'm talking?
It to me seems like she was kind of remembering something. It evoked some type of memory, and it's almost like she was missing something, like she never received it. So it was like, I'm getting this, and she's showing me that she cared about me. I didn't get that from someplace else.
You could have been missing home too. Like
Yeah.
that could have been something that went on at home.
Mhm.
And being that, you know, she could have been getting flashbacks on what's going on, like what she used to go through.
Or who she misses, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
we don't know. And those are those. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doreen.
no, I was just saying she could just as well be, you know, just bring back a memory of her mom brushing her hair
Mhm.
and make her feel loved and cared for.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
Oh, no.
she had sadness for that.
Mhm. And it really highlights those moments where it could be something so simple as just brushing hair that could trigger something. And so just being cognizant of that as well.
Yeah.
And now we're going to watch the follow-up.
She just comes out here, she takes all this stuff out, and she can't bother with the 1 second it takes to close a stupid door or put anything in the sink.
What happened?
I found my hairbrush in the toilet this morning.
What?
I told you that wasn't me. Of course it was you. I left it in the bathroom for you. And Juan and Lita aren't even up yet.
I'm up now, Miss Noisy
I'm
Pants.
sorry, sweetie. I thought we were really connecting, babe. I left it there for her with a nice little note with hearts on it and stuff.
Oh my God.
Didn't do it. Wow. Hello.
What is that?
You're wearing that? Are you going to a strip club?
Sorry, I'm just like an uptight douche like you.
Hey!
No, you don't talk to my
This
wife
is your
like
Aunt
that.
Taylor. Loft.
You know what? Go put some clothes on. A lot of them. Now get in my truck. I'm driving you this morning.
Oh my God. You guys are so annoying.
Change the clothes.
It's not that big of a deal.
Hey,
Do I dress like a douche?
no. Make sure she gets down to my truck.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, sweetie.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Ew, what was that? Oh! Ow! No! No!
You okay? Oh, it's a shame.
Thoughts on
Wow.
that one?
Mm.
And how it relates to the 3 R's. So we had, what is it? Regulate, reason. What are the things that you can highlight that you're just like, ooh, that we could have done a little better than that.
The slamming of the cabinets.
Mhm.
Really was upset with that. And I think that came from her discovering the brush in the toilet. So I think that escalated her. And so because of that, she was like, I can't stand any of this stuff, and was going off in the house, which could have escalated the other kids, you know?
Mhm.
So
Absolutely, because she was heightened and she was responding from a heightened spot and she was taking it all personal. And even the
Yeah.
dad came in like, what's happening? Because even he's like, why? The door's being slammed shut.
Yes, because she didn't even she saw the yeah, you said she took it personal as far as the brushes being in the thing. She should have first to regulate it to try to find out why she did that. She took it too personal.
And then everyone lost sight of what started everything already, the brush, right? And the feelings around that, and not knowing why did she even put it in the toilet?
Right.
There
Yeah,
was
she-
just an escalation of behaviors from the parents too, and then she comes in with with the outfit, and then they start reacting to that, and it's like, oh gosh, now this kid's really not going to talk to you because now you're you're telling them, are you going to the strip club? What are you wearing? What's going on here?
Mhm.
And any teenage girl, you're just going to have another reaction to that.
So it seemed like the kid was rejecting the mom. But I
Mhm.
mean, after she had that feeling or the memory of somebody, or mom or somebody taking care of her, she wanted to turn around and react in such a way that to show her that she don't need anybody to take care of her.
Mhm.
She wants to be grown up, like wearing that outfit to go to school.
Mhm.
That's
And
my
it's
thought.
Yeah, and I think it was good seeing this because my first thought when I saw the first video was like, why didn't she just give her the brush? You know, that was my first thought. Like, it helped. Why didn't she just offer it to her? But seeing the second scene definitely brought things into perspective.
Right.
Mhm.
In the first scene, she did ask her if she'd like her to brush it for her, and she said, "Okay," you know.
Mhm.
The
So
brush,
I don't think she expected to have feelings about it. She just started to simply brush my hair.
Mhm.
yeah, look at the brush trigger something that was going on from the past.
Absolutely. And then
I
it just
think
all
she
kind of
wanted it.
snowballed.
I think she wanted that attention, but it frightened her at the same time. And going back to like maybe our first class, like when you said they're loyal to their family and everything, like it kind of scared her that she was getting a sensitive feeling from this the foster mom. And so now she's rebelling.
Yeah, because it's a coping mechanism. I'll push you away before you can push me also. And like the mom had said also, I thought we were making a connection. Like I thought we were finally there. We're getting somewhere with it. And sometimes it's too much, too soon, too fast, too real. It's a lot of emotions for our young people who, like we had talked about, they're struggling with that loyalty piece as well. So now this is the follow-up scene.
What are we doing here?
Let's go.
I'm gonna be late for school, you know.
Come on.
Okay, so you're punishing me with manual labor. You know, I've worked harder than you've ever.
Yeah, I know. You're a badass. All right, this isn't a punishment, okay?
Hey, I'm Stuart. What's up? What's up?
Stuart, don't ever talk to her again, okay? As a matter of fact, go to lunch.
It's 8:15. Okay, lunch it is.
Come on. Put these on.
What?
Just put them on. Lizzie, I know you're angry. At us, at the world, maybe at yourself a little bit. I don't know, you're not talking. And the truth is, when I'm pissed, I don't much like to talk about it either. But you know what I do like to do? I like to break shit.
Really?
Anything in this room. Swing away.
Okay.
Huh? How'd that feel?
Okay.
Feels good, huh?
Yeah.
I told you. I don't. Whoa! Don't waste it. All right? I want you to do me a favor. I need you to think about something that really pisses you off. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, let's see it. Bust that shit up. Yes. There you go. You like that?
Yeah,
Huh?
okay.
All right, come on. There we go. Yes. like that? That was cool.
Thoughts on that scene?
I like that he provided her with an outlet for her anger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it kind of did all 3 R's all at once, right? It was able to say, how do we regulate? How do we reason? How do we relate? Like all of them were happening all in there because he even identified, like, sometimes I don't want to talk. I just want to break stuff. And it was like showing what this is another way of being able to cope. Anyone else? Okay.
Is it good way?
Sorry, go ahead. The video just started playing all of a sudden.
Huh?
I didn't know who was talking. I couldn't
Oh,
see it, and it just the
something.
video went over.
No, it was a
Like,
good way to just for her to how he took out his anger, but you can't always find a house to break up and break
well,
things up.
yeah. It's not always realistic, right? They have
Right,
smash
yeah.
rooms now, but
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But trying to get that idea across of how do we, make those connections with our young people, role model it and show it, and then reason with them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to communicate and be qualified. I was watching it was one of those shows where it's like real life. This kid, he was getting bullied in school, and his father, he was like, "Oh, they bothering me, they messing with me," and his father would always tell him to go to the tree and hit the tree. And he said he will always go to the tree and hit the tree. But this one day, he seen a little kid riding on his little tricycle, and he killed the little boy. This is a true story.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he said the tree didn't work anymore. And he killed the little boy. And he's like really talking. They showed the real life guy, and he's saying like he didn't want to do it, but he was so angry. So he just like took it out on this little kid. He was like 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old. I was just like, oh my God, so disgusted. But the father was dismissive also, because he would just send him away and tell him like go and hit the tree instead of reasoning with him, talking to him about it, and maybe even protecting him. Like, you know, you expect, because because he's a boy, he needs to learn how to handle it and cope with it. And boys are different from females, so it's like, no, you have to talk to him. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because
was a
it
real
misses
life
all those.
story. I was so disgusted.
Yeah, because it misses all those layers, right? It's one thing to
Mhm.
just give a child a skill and an outlet, but if you don't talk to them and say, hey, how is this work? Is it working? Is it not working? Do we need to do something different? And creating those connections so that they have that relationship established and someone they can talk to, because they go hand in hand, right? You can't just
Yes.
give a skill without teaching it and talking about it to see whether or not it's happening, if it's working for them. Because if not, you're just giving them a skill and just being like, go ahead, do it, and hoping that they figure it out on their own. And our young children are still developing and trying to learn. So how do we have that expectation on them?
It sounds like the parent in that situation just dismissed the kid. I don't think they
He
were
did.
paying attention to him. It's just to get him away so he's not bothering them anymore. You know, that's what it seems like to me in that situation.
Or just being macho. You know how men are. They're not really like nurturing in that area, most men. So they'll just be like, you a boy, you a big boy, he had to go hit the tree. Yeah, he was being dismissive. Oh.
I remember when I worked at the group home, the way I didn't have these tools, but I used to always we had a little basketball court in the back. And when kids were going through something, I used to say, come on, let's go shoot some ball. And we would shoot ball, and I would talk to them and joke with them. And reason with them and talk and try to pull what's going on with them out of them. And that was like, I didn't have the tools that I'm getting now, but that was one of my tools, just going to the basketball court and let's shoot some ball one-on-one. And then we could talk and get it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes that physical action, like Michelle was saying too, the walking, playing ball, doing something. And sometimes for some of our kids, they don't want the eye contact. So if you're doing a game, then they can talk about it without having that uncomfortable eye contact if they're not used to it, where they don't have to talk one-on-one. Some of the best conversations I've had with kids are either basketball or we're in the car and I'm driving and I'm paying attention to that, and they don't have to deal with like the one-on-one talking. Then they open up so much more. So thank you for sharing that.
It's like a taxi ride.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Start talking more, right? You start talking to a stranger and you're like, why am I even telling him my life story? But it happens. Go ahead, Michelle.
For emotional co-regulation, the parent's response and the child's response interact, right? Either it can calm or increase the emotional intensity. And having those interactions and building on those interactions can help the child to start to regulate themselves, and having the parent or having you showing them that there's different ways that you can get to that point. But the thing is how can we meet, how can we meet in the middle? And so that way we can both have a discussion, we can have a conversation on, and kind of step back whenever it's needed. But giving that youth the chance to be able to go into those interactions in a calm manner. And if that child, their reaction starts to intensify, as the adult, as the parent, is to still be able to remain in a calm manner to help that child come back down. Because if we start reacting or we start to escalate with both if the child is out of control and it's being met by you also being out of control, it's not going to be beneficial for either party. So being mindful to kind of stay grounded to help that child remain grounded or come back to ground themselves. Again, recognizing that us as an adult, we can also be triggered. And being able to kind of just self-reflect and recognize what those triggers are for ourselves. So that way, if we find ourselves being triggered by that youth, recognizing what can I do for myself to reground myself again, so that way I can help that youth, because it's not the youth's fault that I'm being triggered, right? I need to be able to help, at this point, I need to be able to help myself in order to help the youth.
So in these videos for living room scenes 1 and 2, we're going to show different ways that a parent responding to a 14-year-old who breaks a vase. The child lies about breaking it and then angrily lists things that the parent has been doing wrong. So we're going to see both scenarios.
Oh my gosh, Becca, what happened?
I don't know. It was like that when I came in here.
Oh, honey, I don't think so. It was just sitting on the shelf before. You're
When I
the only
walked
one
in
here.
here, it was on the floor.
Well, I think maybe something happened. I'm just trying to find out what happened.
Why are you blaming me? It was on the floor.
All right, Becca. It wasn't on the floor. I want to make sure you're okay, but I'm just wondering what happened.
You blame me for everything, and I know you hate me, so why don't you just go and hit me already?
Oh, honey, let's just take a step back. All right, we'll take a step back. We'll talk about it in a little while.
Fine.
So thoughts on that first video and how the child reacted?
Well, she lied. And she started, instead of she lied about that it was there when she came.
I think she lied because based off of what she said, go ahead, you hate me, go ahead and hit me anyway. So I think it was almost like, if I tell her I did something wrong, she might hit me. So let me just go ahead and lie about it to protect.
I think it was her guards was up because maybe stuff that happened in the past. She used to get maybe really you never know what she used to get beat for that, or she could have went through a lot of stuff by, she made an accident and she just didn't want to go. She didn't know that the foster parent wasn't going to beat her or abuse her because the stuff was broken. So in her defense, she lies and she tried to protect herself, which was in the wrong way, but she just didn't want what used to happen back at home to happen here. So she had her guards up and she was trying to protect herself. That's the way it looked like to me.
And then she was saying that you blame me for everything else. I don't know if the foster mother used to blame her for other things, because she was saying you blame me for everything.
Right. And because also,
and she internalizing. Yeah.
and the foster mother didn't come and ask. She was like, oh no, like something happened here. And so it already got the young person into, like what Sam was saying, defense mode, and just had the guard up, and everything was a reaction from there.
Could be a cry for attention too. I mean, I'm thinking that in my view, it seemed like this child broke it on purpose, because it could be that she's coming from a household where there's uproar and there's fighting and arguing. So she wanted to engage the parent into an argument, it seemed like to me. And where she said that, go ahead and hit me, because that was what she was used to happening.
Yep.
So that this person is just going to be like everybody else in her life, or somebody major that she cared for.
Yep, absolutely. And so now we're going to see the difference with living room scene 2.
So, Becca, I know I'm feeling a little bit calmer. How about you?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I just want to tell you, when I came running in here,
I don't think
I probably scared you, and I'm sorry. But I heard that loud crash, and I knew you were in here by yourself. I didn't know if you'd been hurt. I didn't know what got broken. But I don't blame you for what happened. Accidents happen all the time.
I'm sorry that I broke it. I just thought you'd be really mad about it.
No. And I appreciate you saying you're sorry. I really do. You know, the vase is okay. I like it okay. But we can always buy a new vase, all right? We can't find a new you. You're a lot more important than anything that I have. And I want you to realize there's no way in the world I would ever hit you. So, here's my thought. Let's stay in tonight, watch some goofy movie, maybe get a pizza, mushroom pizza?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go and get the dustpan and the broom, and maybe you could help me clean up this mess. How about it?
That sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks.
So what do we think about that response? And granted, it's not always going to go so smooth, right? And it's not always going to be a mushroom pizza. What's that all about? So, but how do you think the parent was able to engage the young person in being able to do those 3 R's to regulate, reason, and relate?
Let her know, she let her know that she wanted her to be this. She was worried about her safety. She thought something happened to her.
Yeah, she said right.
I don't know about helping her clean it up though. After she done lied, I might have told her, "I'll get the broom and you can pick it up." But
Yeah, I think that mom had a good response. She came in and she apologized first of all because she thought she might have startled her. Or that could be just a way of warming up to start a conversation, you know. And so she assured her that she cares about her and that she wouldn't hit her. She wouldn't be experiencing that from her. And also that the thing is replaceable, you know. But she's more important than anything. I think that was a good to approach it.
Yeah, especially because it took that time and space to say, hey, how do we connect? How do we work on this relationship and really showing the young person that they're valuable, they're important, and what she could have done differently too in her approach and owning that piece. And that's part of that role modeling. What we want them to work on, we do as well.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of times she must be got hit a lot in her home because she said go ahead and hit me. So it made us think that the foster mom used to hit her, but it was more that she got hit where she was at or somewhere else. So she just figured everybody is going to hit on her. And the foster mom reinforced her that she'll never hit her. And I thought that was very nice.
Absolutely. Make that connection and reinforce that that's not going to be the expectation here in the home. Michelle?
So celebrate, in order, right, in order to build that relationship between between the adults and with the youth or the child, it's important to celebrate their successes and even the smallest successes. Recognizing that, when you teach them a skill and they're making those steps, approaching things differently, utilizing the things and the skills that you're looking to teach them, and celebrating that as well. Because it takes a lot from someone to be able to change, to change, especially when we react to certain things a certain way. And so celebrating those baby steps, right, as well as the milestones.
Especially when you think of sorry, Michelle, those little things that you and the kid might know that you guys are working on. It doesn't have to be something big that the whole world needs to know about, but hey, you cleaned your room today. I didn't have to nag you today. Or, hey, you picked up your dish and you put it in the sink. Let's work on recognizing those small steps, because each small step that gets recognized and celebrated, and we're not talking about a party, but we're talking about just celebrating with that recognition, helps that child feel more connected, helps them become more part of the family unit and realize their own self-worth and their value as well. So this is
things that families can, do. Having those private celebrations, as simple as passing a test, hanging up their artwork on your refrigerator. It may be something that wasn't done, in their home, or just generally in the past. setting small goals for the family and recognizing those achievements, celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, supporting one another after difficulties, like taking the night off. It may just be just a verbal acknowledgement, today, everyone, or they had a rough day. You know what? We're just gonna be able to take a step back, relax, and we're just gonna hang out together. Rewarding positive behaviors of the child, as well as the parents, right? Sometimes we deserve a a pat in the back as well. Finding fun activities that the parent and the child can share in and enjoy together. Again, having that conversation with the youth. What do you like to do? And then incorporating that. What do you like to eat? Oh, you know how to, maybe you do know how to make it, but asking the child, you know how to make it? What are the ingredients? Let's do it, let's do it together. You take the lead and you show me the steps. Or if they don't know, but you say, you know what? I think I know how to do that. How about we do it together and taking those, doing those things together. Again, building that relationship, taking those steps.
So on that note, we finished the back section.